was watching you. You.
Hello. Hello. Hi, Kathy
Hello.
and Barbie and Sheila. Hello.
Oh, you beautiful ladies. Mwah. Happy mid-March.
We are cold.
Yeah, we're cold. If the
But
sweater
tomorrow's
is
first
been
day of spring.
away.
First day of spring tomorrow, right?
I believe it when I see it.
The fat robins around here are saying it's already spring. It just does not feel like it today.
There.
So cold.
Although I'm getting there. It's getting there. Last week we got so much snow and it melted all the next day. I was telling Claudia, 2 feet of snow, melted all the next day, but the birds were out singing right before the snowstorm. So I was like, the birds seem to think it's spring. So
We just have
clouds.
Our snow didn't accumulate, but just blew around for like 3 days. So it's sunny today. It's bright and sunny, but still pretty chilly.
It is a little.
So I'm cold. I'm cranky about it.
I'm always cranky about being cold. I always get told, go put something else on. When John walks around in shorts and no socks on, and I've got socks, thick fuzzy socks and big old fuzzy chunky boots, slippers, and sweatpants and sweaters and sweatshirts, and then a blanket, go put more on. If I put anything else on, I'm gonna have to go get my winter coat. There's just nothing else going on. Turn the damn heat up. That's the way it feels.
Hi, guys.
Then again, I do it in the summertime too. He tells me he's hot. I'm like, go take some clothes off. If you're so hot, go take some more clothes off. Because I love the heat.
We all know usually I am having a hot flash and I'm sitting here sweating, but I am cold today. Cold.
I love all the blue
Hi, Angela.
behind you. I love the blue so much.
I'm going to switch them out for all my other colors. I have more blue than anything, which is weird because like blue is not one of my favorite colors. Yeah. Green's my favorite color of glass to collect, but somehow I ended up with a bunch of blue and I love the look of them. So
I do
need
too.
to switch them out and show off my other swans.
I love the blues though. I like the swans in the blue. I know that's me being whiny. I was whiny the other day. I'm whiny, people. So if you hear me go, I'm whiny. Just leave me alone. But I love
this one. I got this one from you, right?
Yeah.
And this one was my very first one. This one back here.
Oh, I love them.
Fun.
And I'm looking forward to the frosted Easter display.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
I've not had any luck finding any blue pieces in the satin glass. Disappointed.
Oh.
Very disappointed. Did I see someone else come in? Oh, good, Sheila.
Sweatpants, cute sweatshirts, long and short sleeve t-shirts. Yep. That's me.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here with my hood up, put my gloves on.
Gloves are the only thing I am currently missing right now. Yes.
I've got mine in my pocket. Look.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yes, Kaz, I did get it set up.
Oh, good.
Now I've got to update. It'll be under my YouTube profile. Hopefully I remember to do that today. And then in next week's sales, it'll be in the description box. It's not there yet, but yes, I did get it set up.
Oh, see, look, even Angela's cold and she's south of us.
So cold.
Yeah. I'm crossing my fingers. That means we're going to have a fabulous summer because my summer last year kind of stunk because it never really got warm enough to go swimming or hang out. It was like barely 80 degrees most of the summer. And that's not warm enough to go swimming for me. I need 90. Although the heater in the pool might work this year. We'll see.
We've already had raccoons in the backyard, rabbits in the backyard, skunk. There was a raccoon this morning. Mom had to chase off the bird feeder. And we've got 3 dogs who are outside on a regular basis. So you would not think that all those animals would be in our fenced-in backyard, but they are. So the animals are awake and thinking it's spring.
Yeah. Nobody else got the message. Something huge. I was sitting in my back room and I have a whole like glass sunroom in my back room. Something huge swooped down, which is not unusual because there's a heron that likes to hang out behind because there's a little frog stream thing behind me. I have no idea what it was. I jumped up to try to chase it to see what it was. I was like, well, it was either a hawk or an owl. I'm not, because both happen to live behind. I live in the wilderness, live behind me. But it was just when you see something, you're like, oh my God, a pterodactyl just flew down from the sky. What was that?
Yeah.
And what did it just carry away? Because it took something. You know, they swooped down to take something. It took something. I have no idea what it took. Oh. Sheila, I'm jealous. That's not fair.
We are going to warm up into the 50s this week, but not today.
Yeah, we're supposed to go to the 50s and then back down to the 30s. This is sick weather when it does this. This is when I get sick.
Yep.
Yeah. Ugh.
All right, I'm going to make you big and we will get started.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about Northwood today. And Claudia and I both have some amazing glass to show you today. That's up for sale, but I have a couple pieces to show you that are Northwood or Northwood inspired, and you'll find out what that means in just a few seconds. But today we're talking Northwood. Okay, so Northwood has a very fun, unusual history in the glass world. So it was founded in 1887, and it was founded by Harry Northwood, and he was a Brit and was a glassman by trade. His father was in the glass industry. His father was a very well-known glass manufacturer, I guess, over in England. He was well-known for cameo glass, which is not something I've come across and really kind of have to look into what cameo glass actually is. So don't ask, I don't know right now. I didn't go down that rabbit hole. And they moved around. Northwood moved around a lot. They started in Ohio, then moved to another place in Ohio. Then they moved to Pennsylvania. They took over Indiana Glass Factory for a short while in Indiana before finally settling in West Virginia. So there was like 5 or 6 different locations that they were in from 1887 until they kind of found their permanency home in the early 1900s. And for back then, that's a lot of moving around. So their early years, they really started to produce. Their first pattern they produced was in 1890. It was called Royal Ivy. And like everybody else at the time, it was tableware. So it was their first pattern, mostly tableware, and it was a twig that wrapped around the whole of the piece, the outer rim of the piece of the surface. And it came in crystal and frosted. That was the combination they did. The other combination was Rubina and crystal. And then the last one was Rubina and frosted. So I couldn't find pictures of these. I would have loved to have seen this tableware. I'm sure it was absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Oh, and then let's see, 1891, they came up with their next pattern, which was called Jewel. It had a bunch of different other names, but Jewel was just the easiest one to actually talk about. It was a Baroque design. Now, Northwood is always decorated within an inch of its life. There is never a flat, clean surface. It has all these different things. This is what was on this piece, this patterned piece. Medallions, dots, rays, palm leaves, and enhanced with gilded refinements. It was extremely ostentatious, very delicate. So Northwood glass can be termed as very, very super fancy, overly decorated glass. The patterns are insane and very iridized and opaque and all these fun different colors. So in 1899, they joined the National Glass Company for a short while. Now, during this time period, right before the 1900s, you're going to see the stamp on the bottom. If you are so lucky to actually find a piece of Northwood that is that super antique, that is going to be scripted. It's going to be like incised, scripted into it, Northwood. All right, so that's going to be that logo. After that, you're going to get this logo. And I brought my handy dandy, and I've shown you guys before. This is a really great book. It does more than just glass. It does everything else. It's a really handy book to have. So this is what the Northwood mark looks like right there. An N with an underline and a circle. So if you find a piece that has that, it's Northwood and it is antique. All of Northwood is pretty much antique now. They went to 1925, but most of the pieces they produced were pre-1925. So just so you know. Oh, hey! Okay. So I only found one reference to this, but I want to bring it up. Now, it goes without saying, this I know for sure is true. Samuel Dugan, who started the Dugan Glass Company, was a cousin of Henry Northwood. So for a while, this one reference I found was the two of them were in business together from 1896 to 1910. And the company was supposedly named Northwood then, and then Dugan left or Harry left, and it really wasn't very specific, this one reference I found. But without a doubt, Dugan and Northwood are familiarly related. So that's one of the contemporaries of them, and you'll find they shared molds. You'll find a piece, and here's a good example. I'll show you this now. This piece here looks like Northwood. It still could be Northwood. It has the opalescent, translucent, opaque white, and the shape on the top, and I'll show you some other vases later, is very similar to a lot of Northwood styles. This is kind of similar to their raised pattern, which was a carnival glass piece. And they did do white. White was one of the colors that really only Northwood did. Dugan did too, I think. But I believe this to be a Dugan piece, because it probably came from a Northwood mold, but Dugan probably made this piece. So wanted to show that off. Really pretty piece. Let me put that. Jefferson is another one that had a lot of Northwood's molds, and they're very, very similar. Like you could put a piece of Northwood and a piece of Jefferson next to each other. They're going to look very, very similar. And believe it or not, Fenton. Fenton is also a contemporary. We think of Fenton as mid-century, but Fenton's been around for a very long time. So in 1902, Harry develops carnival glass. Now, it is widely believed that he is the man who brought, let me find the right way to say this. He's the guy who brought iridized glass to the Americas. Before that, there was no iridized glass. Before he came over, there's no iridized glass in America. So iridized glass, the translucency, the carnival glass kind of style, none of that existed until he brought it over from England. So that's he gets the credit for that. He also gets the credit for kind of inventing carnival glass, but there's a little asterisk that needs to be put there. His carnival glass was, he called it golden iris, which means golden rainbow, and it's the marigold pieces. So those are his pieces that he invented, was the marigold color. Now, at the same time, he was training a man called Frank, who later became well known as Frank Fenton. So Frank Fenton, the owner and creator of the Fenton Glass Company, trained under Harry Northwood. And Fenton is given the props, the patent of carnival glass, doing all the other colors but the marigold. So that's the little like asterisk that goes there. Okay, so in 1908, they started really producing a lot of the carnival glass. They used molds from earlier pieces and kind of went to town. And they were at the forefront of carnival glass for well over 10 years. Most of the carnival glass is not marked. What is marked is their tumblers are marked. And I'll show you a tumbler. I have one in a minute. It's marked on the inside. And if it is marked, most of Northwood stuff is going to be marked on the inside as opposed to the bottom, which is something that we're not used to. And usually you have to really hunt for it. And if you're lucky and have a really good magnifying glass, you might find it. So they're very popular carnival patterns. Their most popular one was this one. This is a grape and panel, and this is a piece of amethyst glass. And we did a carnival glass thing before. We judged by the bottom, the base. So this is amethyst glass on the bottom. You don't judge by the color they layer over the top. So this is the tumbler, and the mark is on the inside, way down in there. It is the N with the underline and the circle. So this particular pattern was produced in over 70 different forms. That's ridiculous. 70 different forms for that one. Okay.
Hi, Leanne.
And hello, everyone who is coming in. Their other famous carnival patterns were fine cut and rose, beaded cable, wild rose, singing birds, peacock at a fountain, leaf and beads, the pond and rose, good luck. And I'm going to give everybody a little warning with the good luck one here. The good luck one is very collectible. It is a huge bolo, but it is and has been copied and reproduced a couple of times. So it might not be an original one. You just have to like really do your like due diligence on that. So here's a piece of Northwood carnival glass right here. They had a thing for corn back then. I found 3 other companies that did a very different corn piece. So this is their corn vase. That's what that one is. Let me try to get to my other markers. I tried to show off some of the really cool, really good pictures. So this one right here. There we go. Right. Oh, I just snapped my book. All right. So there we go. That one right there. That's another, you can see the ruffled top. This one is known as poplar tree or feathers. That one was done by Northwood in their golden iris. Here's another vase that they did. So they did do some simply vases. Some of them were very simple, but most of Northwood you're going to find is exceptionally ornate. And I can show you a picture of the wild roses as well. There we go. Wild roses. Here's the wild rose right there. That was another very popular one of theirs. Super, super pretty. Okay. So now the base colors that they did were green, amethyst, cobalt, ice green, white, and ice blue. They did these pastel-y colors, ice blue, ice green, and white, which to this day are exceptionally collectible and sought after. And Claudia will speak to this in a little bit. That's why when you see the white, I showed you the white base earlier. I have seen the ice blue and the ice green in person, and let me just tell you, they're mind-numbingly gorgeous. They really, really are. All right, so they're on top colors, which was the spray on that they did on top. They did in the ice blue, the ice green, and the white, which we said were very rare. Azure, Florentine, Pearl, Pomona. Those were their colors. Now, in 1915, they then introduced iridized custard glass. They appeared opaque and creamy in color with a pastel overlay. These are also super duper duper collectible and looked for. You're going to be able to recognize Northwood almost instantly because, like I said before, it is decorated within an inch of its life. It will usually, not always, because I did have a piece of blue cobalt, very plain looking. It is usually iridized with pastel-y colors, and sometimes two-tone, sometimes three-tone, sometimes four-tone, gilded with gold and everything else. And it is some of the most beautiful glass you will ever have the pleasure of laying your hands on is Northwood glass. Now, unfortunately, he got really sick. Harry Northwood got really sick 1918, passed away in 1910. Doesn't say how, it just says he contracted a terminal illness. He was in business with his brother who died like the year before him. His brother was kind of with them, but his brother wasn't just quite as popular. So the company couldn't really survive his passing. And it makes me wonder if it was a Spanish flu thing because we're talking around that time period there. And the company kind of went belly up in 1925. Now, Dugan, Jefferson, Fenton, I think Imperial, but I'm not 100% certain, also used a lot of molds. There was a lot of mold stealing or a lot of mold ripoffs where they would change like one little thing and now it's fine. So, but any of that glass is still going to be antique and it's totally worth grabbing. So that's all I have. And Claudia's got some really cool stuff on Northwood.
All right, let me pull up my pictures here.
I bet it was the chemicals. Maybe, Kathy.
Okay, so one of their most popular things was the fine cut in roses rose bowl.
Oh,
so
gorgeous.
They made this in 17 different colors of carnival glass and then made it in non-carnival glass always, except this is a Jefferson mold. They purchased this mold from Jefferson. So at the end of 1908, beginning of 1909, Jefferson Glass had decided to go a different direction. So Northwood purchased several of their molds and turned them into carnival glass, which they'd not been carnival glass when Jefferson Glass had them. And that took off. And they made a lot more money than Jefferson did producing those molds. So the fine cut in roses was one of their most popular. It's really easy to, because they made so many in so many different colors, it is easier to find like this one than some of their rare pieces. But Fenton has since made a piece. It's not antique, but you know, in their heyday, I don't want to say a date because I didn't look it up, but it was later on. They made a fine cut and grapes instead of roses. So I'm thinking probably 60s, 70s when grapes were all the thing. Yeah. Everybody had to have grapes on everything. So I didn't do a lot of research on Northwood because let me find those pictures.
Oh,
Because Nikki was
I
looking
can't
all of that up. But what I did do was I went and looked up the top 10 pieces of carnival glass that have sold at auction. And the top 10 pieces sold from $42,000 to $155,000 at auction for just a piece of carnival glass. And 4 of those pieces in the top 10 are Northwood. So I'm going to show them to you. So you've got this one.
Oh, I love the green.
Make sure I'm going the right way. A marigold piece. No, this is is this the marigold one? No.
Golden iris.
No, this might have been the Vaseline piece.
Oh.
Let me look. Yeah, this one's the Vaseline piece. This is extremely rare.
Oh, wow.
So this was Vaseline.
That's Claudia's duck.
Keep bumping it with my finger. Here's a piece. Now they did label this carnival glass. I don't see much of the iridescence there, but that was one of the Northwood pieces. And then the 4th Northwood piece in that top 10.
Oh my God. There it is.
Can you believe that? Hello, East Coast Comics.
There it is.
So the colors, there were 4 pieces that were Northwood, 4 pieces that were Millersburg, which I don't think we've talked about them, have we?
No, Millersburg has a lot of carnival glass. And it's gorgeous. Yeah.
There was one Fenton piece in the top 10, one antique Fenton piece. And then there was a Cleveland Memorial Souvenir ashtray and marigold that sold. So the colors of these are interesting because I didn't expect to see such a large variety of colors in this top 10. There was 2 blue, emerald green, Vaseline, celestial blue, which was different than the 2 like cobalt blue ones, marigold, 2 amethyst, radium green, and then the aqua opal. So just because it's marigold doesn't mean you should pass it up. Yeah. I know a lot of times we glass collectors like, ugh, all I ever see is marigold. Ugh, might want to take a look at it. Because it's going to depend on the company. It's going to depend on the time frame when it was made. So you don't want to discount that marigold carnival glass because one of the top 10 pieces that ever sold was a marigold piece. So just wanted to show you some of those pieces. That is crazy that those pieces are so rare and command such a high dollar. $42,000 to $155,000. That's crazy.
That's crazy. I've seen them in the glass shows, and we hear selling online massively undervalued carnival glass. Carnival glass pieces out there in the market for people who are glass collectors. It is not unheard of for a cheap piece of carnival glass to be $50. Whereas the more expensive pieces that are a little harder to find and in different colors will easily command between $100 to $400 without breaking a sweat. But we poo-poo carnival glass. There are people out there who are crazy for it, especially if it's a different pattern and a different color. So I'll say that. Yeah.
And my niece collects carnival glass. So anything that I find goes by my niece first. So a lot of times doesn't make it here.
Yeah.
Collects it. But like I picked up this piece. I haven't even cleaned it yet. And this is Indiana glass. This is not old. But picked up this piece for my niece. Her birthday is this weekend, so she's getting one of those.
It's so pretty. I love the color.
And she actually likes the pieces that were made in the 70s versus the antique. She does have a couple of antique pieces, but she actually likes the pieces made. She's 24, 25. So that's her preference. But
I have to say the marigold is my favorite.
Nikki and I are able to find glass less. We pay less for it. We're able to give you good prices. If you guys ever went to a glass show, you'd probably faint at the prices of glass at the glass shows. Like stuff that like is crazy. Their glass prices are crazy.
Yeah. It's one of those things when I walk into one of those booths that has that in a glass show, I'm like, hands in my pockets, no bags, don't touch anything because I will drop and break things. That's what John finds me. We're in the store.
I'm just here to admire the things.
I will look from outside your booth and look, and I'll use my camera and I'll zoom in to get a really good shot of it. Yeah.
I will
That's
not be
very
touching
fun.
your super expensive glass.
No, he finds me by loud noises. He's like, "Was that you?" I'm like, "No, that time it was not me. It was somebody else this time." So yeah, because I hate it. We were talking about this before. I hate antique booths that you walk into and you're tripping over things that they leave
Oh
on
yeah.
the. Stop putting things on the floor, people. These are antiques. Put them someplace safe.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Don't pile so much that I can't even get to the shelf that's
Yeah,
behind all that junk you just piled. Because
yeah,
I'm not going to buy that piece of glass from you if I can't reach it.
that's right. That's right.
All
Oh,
right,
that's
we are
cool.
going to get started
Yeah.
on selling. And Nikki's going to go first today.
Okay. We're gonna put that in a weird vegetable here. Okay. So I have a vast array of fun, different things today.
Oh,
I'm
is
gonna
Becky
start
at a
things off.
glass show right now?
Oh, I love when
I
she goes to the
love it when
glass
she
show.
goes live at
Yeah,
the glass
I do
show.
too.
Yeah. And you get to see all that amazing.
I should be having one coming up soon, so hopefully I get that out there. It should be coming up in May, if I remember right. Okay, so first up, I have this piece. This is a Westmoreland piece. It is milk glass. It is a leaf trinket dish. I thought it was kind of unusual too, because when you look at the back, it
Yeah.
has this like weird textury overlay. It's like double leafed. I don't know. I just thought
I've
it was
never
neat.
seen that one before.
Yeah, I just thought it was really kind of cool. It has my black fuzzy on it. Sorry, but it has really good detail there in and around there. And then on the back, this texture, I'm gonna call it, it's almost like grass. It's kind of what it reminds me of. It has that, like, if I sat in the grass because I'm allergic to grass, that's what my legs would look like, only red. That was an overshare. Sorry about that. So it's 7 inches roughly from here to here, and then about 5 across. I'm gonna call it a maple leaf. It is in really good condition. Nice little shallowy dish. I love these leaf-shaped dishes. I have a couple already hiding out. So if you're interested in the Westmoreland milk glass piece, it's gonna be $10, number 75. $10, number 75 on that, baby. Okay. And my next piece, now a couple weeks ago, I showed the marigold color of this. I found chicken skin. Yeah, yeah. I found a pink one.
Ooh.
And it's a divided dish. So it's not super divided. It sticks up, but it doesn't stick up a lot. The piece that runs down the middle, it almost reminds me of like the stem of a leaf. And I've seen these called the tree of life. So I kind of get that, right? This is
Yeah.
the center of the tree. But to me, it almost looks like a cabbage leaf too. So I've heard it's referred to, I think, as the tree of life, and then it's pebbled on the back. So all of this has that like pebbly texture to it. Really good condition. I've never seen a pink one. So I was jazzed that I found a pink one. I figured it was the right time of the season to have a nice little pink dish. So this guy here is it's just shy of 10 inches across. So it'd be a cool serving dish. It'd be a cool just display piece too, I have to be honest. I love this pink. It's fun. Oh, thank you, Cass. This piece is super fun. So if you're interested in the Indiana Glass Tree of Life pebbled feeling dish, this guy here is going to be $12, number 87. $12, number 87. And the one thing about this one, it doesn't have that carnally glow that my other piece had. So it's very matte is what the color I'm going to use on that one. And those are my two.
I have never seen that one in pink before.
I've never seen it in pink.
Okay, my first piece is this blue glass art bowl. Now, it does have right here. Do you see there's a couple of little tiny dings right there above my fingernail. And it's not marked, so I'm going to say this is modern, but it's just so pretty with this milky blue. I don't even know how to describe it beyond milky blue. It's just got this really pretty tone to the blue. And then it's got the wave right here, so very cool. This is heavy. And at its widest point, it's almost 9 inches across. So it's this big. I love this.
I love the color.
Yeah, the color's so pretty. This one is going to be $20, number 13. $20, number 13 on that one. And then I identified this wrong in my video. So if you saw my haul video, it's Fostoria, not Imperial Glass. It's Fostoria, the smoky blue candlestick. It stands just over 6 inches. It is so pretty. They made this in a bunch of different colors, but I like that it's got 9 sides. It's not an octagon. It's got 9 sides. So that was one way I was able to identify it. But this gorgeous, gorgeous smoky blue. No chips, no cracks. I didn't even have to dig wax out of here, so I don't know if it was ever even used or if somebody just took really good care of it. This one is going to be, and I guess the pattern was Virginia, if it matters to anybody. $12, number 6. $12, number 6. And those are mine too. Thanks you guys for hanging out with us today.
I love that color. It probably came out around the time when they were doing a lot of the colonial colors, and I just love that blue color so much. All right, so from Claudia's Nice Soothing Blues to my nice obnoxious 1970 colors. Don't take it wrong. There's nothing wrong with them.
Those are fantastic.
They're just they are Avon. They're both Avon pieces, but I had to pick them up because they're just so funky and bright. So this color is a spray-on chemical treatment. They're supposed to look like salt and pepper shakers. These do not actually work. Thank goodness they don't actually work. This is called Pennsylvania Dutch. All right. This one, oh, I just got a big whiff of it too. Had a lot of perfume still in it. I've cleaned it out. I've bleached it out. It still smells like perfume. Sorry. But I kind of thought they needed to go as a pair, so I picked up both of them. So they are both in pretty much the same condition. One doesn't have a sticker. One still does have a sticker, but they both say Avon underneath. So you'll get the pair of them. I just thought they were funky and 70s. And if you have some 70s vibes going on in your house, these are great little display pieces. Both glass, marigold yellow, and I don't know, neon orange. That's what we'll call them. How big are these guys? There was one other piece to this set. Sorry, you guys didn't see the side of my head. I left my ruler back here. And it was a smaller shaker that was almost like when the powdered sugar, when you get funnel cakes, they put on the powdered sugar. It was kind of like that. So these are 5.5 inches, a tall, really pretty little decorative fun pieces. And if you're interested, they're going to be $10 for the pair, number 73. $10, number 73 on these. Baby. And then my next piece, I have a set of candlestick holders. These are Fenton. These are a ruby, 3-footed little guys down here. And the base and the sides don't glow as much. They do have a lot of cadmium in them. But the sides do glow. They just don't glow super duper a lot. What glows a lot, and I'm not going to get to show up on my camera. Oh, maybe a tiny bit, is the base. Yeah. The underside and the little feeties, they glow a super lot. And a titch, just a titch around the edge. So they look like flowers. They are a ruby or a rubina kind of glass there. Really pretty. I love this deep, like blood red color. It's a true ruby color. They are across. They're in excellent condition. These were very well loved. 4.5 inches. These were loaded with wax. You got lucky with wax. I was digging out wax for like an hour, I swear. And I still don't think I got it all.
I did get lucky.
Oh, you got so lucky. For the pair of them, no condition issues whatsoever. So for the pair of the Fenton Amberina guys here, $25, number 85. $25, number 85 on these babies. And that's my two.
All right. My next item is the Imperial Glass Milk Glass Vase. This is the Loganberry pattern, which is so stinking pretty. And it's got all of this nice detail And I said it in my haul video. I'll say it again. This might be my favorite milk glass vase I've ever found.
I love it.
It's so pretty.
It looks like porcelain.
Yeah, but it's not. It's milk glass. So
not.
this one is considered their 10-inch, even though at the dip here it's a little lower than 10 inches. At the rise here it's a little more than 10 inches. It's considered their 10-inch vase. Here's the inside. Now the neck is narrow. Like the glass was real thick here. So you're not going to be able to get as big a bouquet in it as you might think looking at the mouth. I just want to tell you that. So the Imperial Glass mark, you're not going to be able to see it. Super, super faint. The I over the G, but Imperial Glass, no chips to the top. This one is $15, number 12. This one was filthy. I had to, the outside, I had to scrub, but it looks gorgeous now.
Oh, it is a gorgeous piece.
And then my next piece is little tiny. It's a Fenton duck. Now, he does have a little chip here on his tail, which, because he's matte, when you catch the there, you can see the shiny chip there on his tail. Because he's matte, he still has his sticker. Look at that. His Fenton sticker. And apparently his beak and eye was painted by Pam D.
Go Pam D.
Some of these are painted with flowers and fancy stuff. Nope. Pam's just like, nah, I'm beak and eyes. I'm done. It's lunchtime. So Pam D painted his little beak and eyes. He is only, let's see, not even 2¼ inches from tip of beak to tip of tail. He is a tiny little guy. So cute. Now, if you go on eBay, you can find lots of the ducklings, but they only had, I could only find a couple of these. They did make it look like in yellow.
Ooh.
So I found one yellow one and then like 2 white ones. But there were a bazillion of the ducklings. And then there was a bit bigger duck that they did. So this guy, $10, number 3. He's just $10 because of the chip. The last time one was sold, he was $43. So
I like that he's plain and he's not decorated and he looks like a proper Easter duck. I love him. Yeah, see, I was like, somebody got to buy him. Eileen got him. I was like, somebody got to buy him and save me. If not, I was going to get him. Yeah, he's gorgeous. Good get, Eileen. Good get.
Okay. Thank you, Eileen.
Up next, now I've seen this. I think I showed it once before. I got a cobalt glass. I cannot identify the maker. I'm leaning Indiana, but I could be way off base. It could be Anchor Hawking, but Anchor Hawking is usually very good about labeling their stuff, and there's no maker's mark on the bottom of this. This is an octagon shaped. I'm calling it a vase. I've seen them referred to as ice cream dishes. And come on, make an ice cream sundae. It is the proper size for one, and enjoy yourself. That's what I'm saying. But I thought we're going up to spring, and I love, love, love the color combination of cobalt blue base and daffodils on top. Oh, just one of my faves. So not a super tall baby here. We're doing 7 inches and 3.5 across. So 3.5 and 7 inches in total in height. I love it. Even the octagon base is in good shape. No condition issues with this at all. This is a piece from probably the 70s, maybe the 60s. Not 100% certain, but definitely mid-century. So if you're interested in the cobalt glass octagon vase or ice cream sundae maker, $10, number 93. Just $10, number 93 on that guy. And next up, I put this up on Instagram yesterday because I wasn't. What do you think it is, guys? What do you think it is? I did say squash too.
I'm still going with squash, but that's not the color of squash.
No, no, it's not. It is the weirdest fruit/vegetable I've ever come across in the glass. It is super green. It is a nice, bright green. I don't know, maybe it's some kind of weird gourd. Maybe we can call it a gourd. But aren't squashes gourds, or am I wrong? I could be wrong.
Now, gourds aren't edible. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what they are, but I know they're not edible. Squash is edible.
Squash is edible, yeah.
But they all grow the same.
And of course, I thought of all sorts of weird things. There was this Instagram post where I don't want to get too into it because it'll gross everybody out. But if you saw it, you saw it. You know what I'm talking about. Somebody thought it was an old-fashioned ice cream scoop. And if you're a girl, which most of you here are, you know exactly the gynecological instrument I am speaking of. They had it listed as an antique ice cream scoop.
Oh my goodness. Gross.
It was really gross. It was really gross. Sorry. But for some reason, that's all I could think of was like if you just saw this bit, it looked like some medieval torture device, but it's some kind of fruit or vegetable. And I bet you if you have glass fruits and vegetables, you don't have this one because it's a weirdo. So if you're interested in my weirdo squash green guy here, he's going to be $8, number 89. $8, number 89 on my weirdo squash. Oh, okay. All right, fine. It is an English version of the zucchini. I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. So weird zucchini. A pepper. Yeah. Why not? Why not? And those are mine too.
All right. So we have been watching the birds out the back deck window. And then Dad put up a thing of suet. So we didn't just have the bird seed. And now we've got woodpeckers. I'm loving all the birds out there. The birds make me think spring. So when I saw this, I was like, spring. So yes, it's clear glass, but you got these little birds that look like peeps down here. And then you've got this bird on top. I love the Hofbauer Crystal Birds collection. Is BYRDS. If you ever want to look this up, they made candlesticks. They made napkin rings. I've got the smaller trinket box sitting over there on my dresser. I love this little Hofbauer stuff. And they're known for the teeth that fit together on their jars, their trinket boxes, their candy dishes. So it's just a fun little spring piece. It's only this size. I could not find any chips or cracks on it. It's a little over 4 inches to the top of the bird here. But see, his tail feathers are good. His beak is good. I didn't feel any of the sawtooth broken here. And then these little guys, all of their little beaks look good. They're just so stinking cute.
It is cute. It's a mini jelly bean stash.
Mini jelly bean stash.
Mini jelly bean stash.
So here's the size of the little trinket box, but the little pedestal base makes it just super cool. They also made this without the pedestal base, and then the one that I have is actually round. So I love the Hofbauer Birds collection. I just think it's so much fun. So this little guy is going to be $12, number 11. $12, number 11. And then my one piece that maybe is Northwood. You've seen it before if you're here every week. But it's this Carnival glass compote. So pretty. It's not marked. It's the emerald green color. And this one is $30, number 5. $30, number 5. And those are my two. I'm just catching up on the chat.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. A courgette. Okay, I'll go with courgette. I like that better. Okay, these are my favorite pieces I found this week. In love. I know somebody, it was maybe a month or so ago, asked for it. Miss America Depression Glass Pink. I found a piece. I could not believe it. I was very, very excited. Miss America pieces are actually really hard to find, and the pink is worth more than the crystal. They only came in those 2 colors. So this was done, let me get my dates right. 1935 to 1938. Miss America by Acre Hocking. This is the 12-inch platter. And just, oh my goodness, just look at that goodness. Oh, I love it. I love the diamonds. Now, this is all smooth on the serving surface itself, and then it's textured on the back. So the texture is all right in here. It just looks like it should be like Miss America. Like they should bring out Miss America's tiara on that. This is what it looks like to me. It's in great condition. All these little sawtooth edge babies are all there. There's no sharp bits on them. I don't even think this was used because usually you'll see the depression glass will have a ton of utensil marks. There's really not any on this. This must have sat in grandma's curio cabinet and then like just came out of there and went to the thrift store. That's all I could think. But I actually had to, or John had to stop. A lady was shopping my pile. This was in my pile, and she was kind of, oh, I want that. And I was like, no, that's mine. My wife picked that up. Don't you love when people shop? Just shop. Don't shop my pile. You can admire it, but don't shop it. So, Miss America, anchor hocking, 1930s, rubbing elbows with being an antique. It is gorgeous. Really good deal on this because these can go for bank. I found out it's $25. $25 number 90 on this guy here. $25 number 90 is so pretty. Okay. What's that to be Kathy? Oh, that stinks. I'm sorry. But we see you now. Okay, next up I have, and I had to do some research on this. This is an older piece of Fenton. This is probably from the 40s, probably from the 40s. It is, look at that opalescence, the fact that I don't even have to make anything fancy happen.
Oh, wow.
It's so pretty. It's silver crest, but then inside it is hand painted, and this pattern is called Charlton, which every time I put it into the computer, it wants to change it to Charleston. It's Charlton. That is the painting in the inside. Now it's a little worn on the inside. The green is a little worn down, but it has little gold dollops up here, and then it runs along the base. There we go. Runs along the base all the way around. Somebody kindly gave us little feet, so when you put it down, it's very soft. You won't have any issues with it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. I love the opalescence. You don't even need to do anything fancy. It just does it all on its own. And it's a smaller one. It's not all that tall. It's a smaller compote. 4 inches tall. So it's only 4 inches in height. It's just, I don't know, it just screamed like grandma chic, cottagecore, fun spring with the little silver crest. These are also very, very desirable. I love this piece. So pretty. $35, number 74. $35, number 74 on this. Was probably the oldest piece of Fenton I've actually ever held in my hands. I will say that. Now that you just can't drop it. Okay, and those are my two.
To me, that's also a very feminine piece. Just
It
very
is.
the ruffles and the flowers, and I love that piece. Okay, my next one is the Fostoria coin dot vase. This is another one you've probably seen before. So the rest of the piece I've probably seen before. But I show them just in case somebody new is here. This one is super pretty. No chips, no cracks. But I do know you have to be a fan of the coin dot in order to appreciate it. Because it is Americana with its little coin dots there. This one stands 8 inches. And this is a nice piece of glass. $15 number 2. And that is by Fostoria. And then my next piece, I've only shown this once before, is this more peachy pink depression glass bowl. This one I couldn't identify, but it is etched on either side and then etched here on the opposite sides. So a little folded bowl. I couldn't identify the maker on this one, but no chips, no cracks on this one. From its longest point, 7 1/4 inches. Its narrow point, 4 3/4 inches. But I think it would look really good in spring displays, or even just to sit and put your mail on or your keys when you come in the door. I like to decorate seasonally. So obviously you guys see how often I switch out back here. I like to switch out everything all the time. I'm terrible about it. Right now I want to switch my whole bedroom again, and I just gotten it done. But this piece, pink depression glass, $12, number 14. And those are mine too.
I love those. It'd be cute to put little like peeps in your little Easter candy on, or your fake candy if you have the fake glass candy. Ooh. Okay. I've shown these ones before, but I'm bringing it back. I got my Empoli Apothecary jar here, two-toned amber. I'm gonna take the lid off because I feel a klutzy move coming on. But this is in gorgeous condition, super pretty, has the waffling optics. This is all nice and wavy here, all nice and smooth. And it fades because it has a lighter amber, then it fades down to a much darker amber. In really fabulous condition. That's the little poncho mark right down there. And the top, also really, really awesome. I love it. It reminds me of a sari piece, right? It's like the world's biggest sari piece. And it's darker at the tippy top and then fades down into like an almost ombre and then goes very, very pale. So you've got the two-tone on the top and the bottom. Kind of, you can just see it like that, kind of two-tone shape there. This guy stands. Am I fuzzy again? For crying out loud.
A bit.
Oh my God. I froze earlier. I don't know what's going on. I'll give it a second to see if it comes back while I measure. 10.5 inches. We're almost done. No, sorry. 10.5 inches will come in really close. Maybe that'll make a difference. Let's see. Oh, now I look like I froze again. All right. So Empoli Apothecary jar, excellent, excellent condition. Sorry about the fuzz, guys. I have no idea what's going on. If you're interested in the Empoli piece, it'll be $30, number 78. $30, number 78 on that guy. Perfect condition. And of course, the more intricate pieces, I have to go fuzzy. Okay, my last piece. This is Paden City Glass. Paden City is a company that was around early 1900s to like 1950 maybe. They make some amazing, amazing pieces of glass. They were really, really prolific in the early 1900s, so I'll say that. This is from their keyhole collection. This is the pattern or the shape of the glass is keyhole. This is a sterling silver overlay. It is from the 30s. So it does have a little bit of fading and tarnishing here. I just cleaned them with Dawn and water. I did not get anything fancy there with the sterling silver overlay. So there is the sterling overlay on the base. It goes all the way around, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. It's just a really gorgeous piece. They did these in clear cobalt and ruby. There might have been another color that I missed, but a solo guy, don't find them often. They're actually going for really nice money out there too, all these different Paden City pieces. So if you're interested in the Paden City Sterling Overlay Crystal Candlestick Holder, $15, number 91. $15, number 91. Sorry, I went fuzzy again, guys, but those are my two.
That's so pretty with the silver overlay. I have a pair of Libby Silver Leaf champagne glasses, and these are in excellent condition. A lot of times the silver has been worn off. There's no wear. These are in really beautiful condition. I love the stems on these.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't think of Libby as fancy glassware, but the stems on these are so cool.
When you did that, you got super magnified, Claudia. When you showed the bottom, that was awesome, and the clarity of that.
So just over 5 inches on these. No chips, no cracks, really good condition. And they're just fun. Fun champagne coupes or tall dessert trifle bowls.
Yeah.
So for the pair, $12. $12, number 1. I love those.
Oh, yeah.
And then my last item I'm showing again. I just think it would make a really cool vase for like peacock feathers.
I love the bell shape.
Yeah, it's just cool. It's a hookah base. If you weren't here the other day when I showed it, that's what it is. But it's got this it's got a very mid-century feel to it. It does have some loss of the gold up here at the top. But I think it would make a really cool vase. Put something tall, like feathers in. And this hookah bottle base is going to be $12. $12, number 16.
Pample grass. That's what it needs. It needs some pample grass in that. It would look so cool. Ooh, anybody ever go to those hookah bars? My sister went to one eons ago when they were kind of popular. Like, what was it? Like, I don't know, 10 years ago when hookah bars were kind of becoming popular again. And then they went out of popularity.
My daughter went to when she was at college in 2020.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
never
all right.
been in one. I didn't
I've
even know
never
they
been.
had it until she told me about it.
Yeah.
Did anybody want to see? We've got a few minutes left. Did anybody want to see anything that they missed from the beginning?
I'm still fuzzy,
Something you want to see again that you were interested? I'm drinking water, if anybody wonders.
Me too.
And it's funny. I did not realize, but the one brand I was drinking earlier today, right on it says Whole30. So it had Whole30. It had it said that it was organic, certified organic. I'm like, it's water.
It's bubble water.
It's bubble water, but it's Whole30 compliant. 0 calories.
Because why not? Oh. Next week we have a really fun topic, though.
As always, I've got my sale on Wednesday morning. Coffee Chat, a small sale. And Nikki will be on Whatnot this week.
I'll be on Whatnot on Thursday. I'm doing Ephemera, and I'm going to do a drop sale this week, probably on Wednesday, probably ready Wednesday night. I'm going to do a bunch of smalls, think spring, because that's kind of what I'm going with. And I'm thinking of starting up a new weekly show that's just going to be like you watch whenever it's not live, called The Vintage Files, where I do a little bit of a deep dive into some weird, unusual, different kind of things that you probably don't see every day. And just I like to be fun. I like to have fun with it and spoofy. So it's going to be a little bit of that. It'll be fun. Watch for those guys on my channel. I appreciate that. But next week we have a really fun topic coming up. Really fun topic. We're going to be doing hen on nest.
Hen on nest. We're going to talk about them and maybe sell some.
If we're lucky enough. If we're lucky. Claudia has all the hen on nest. She hoards them.
I do not. I only have 3. Well, I have 2 of the tiny like salt cellar.
You have a collection.
Well, and I guess I do have a medium one that was an off brand. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6.
I had 2 once upon a time. I have none now. You don't like them, Kaz? I think some of them are very cool, but there's more to hen on nest than just hen on nest.
Yeah.
So
lion on nest and
lamb, duck, swan. I think there's a couple of others. Dog. I think there's a dog one.
For me, they're hugely nostalgic because my mom had the avocado green one, Indiana glass, sitting in the living room when I was growing up. In fact, we broke it. Kids broke it. Wasn't me specifically, but it got broken. Us kids broke it. So it's I see them and I just think, oh, growing up in the 70s and 80s. Hi, Diane. Growing up in the 70s and 80s, every mom had one. Yeah, bunny on nest. I wish I had a bunny on nest. That would be so fun this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah. I found a couple of chickens and I did have in my hand a swan that was actually done by Heisey that I actually sold. It was really, really awesome. It was pink too, which was really kind of cool. So they do come in all different shapes, colors, and sizes. It's more than just the hen itself. And it's actually, from memory recollecting, a Victorian thing. It's very, very old. They've been around for a long time. So
I don't know, Kaz.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a horse.
We'll talk about the different companies that made them. We'll talk about the different shapes. Yeah.
It'll be fun.
So that's what we're doing next week.
Yeah. Yeah. That be that.
All right. We are
I'm gonna
going to
enjoy bread.
go. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We
Thanks,
appreciate,
everyone.
and we'll see you in the chats.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good week.